This Soviet boy was captured by German soldiers. They forced him to pose for a photo to showcase their victory. Just moments ago, the boy's home had been bombed by these same people. He stared at the scene before him, still in shock. When the German forces seized him, they treated him like a clown for their amusement. Later, the boy was dragged by German soldiers into a hall filled with his countrymen's corpses. Then the Germans handed him a helmet, ordering him to collect badges from his fallen comrades. The boy numbly crawled on the ground until he came upon a body. After gently brushing back her hair, he discovered it was his wife. At that moment, the Germans urged him to hurry. He grabbed a grenade lying beside his wife's charred leg, then pulled the pin and placed it in the helmet, handing it all to the German soldier. Then he broke into a deep smile. Finally, the boy and his wife reunited in heaven. Meanwhile, the boy's younger brother crawled out from the rubble. He ran helplessly across the battlefield strewn with bodies. Suddenly, he tripped over a severed limb. As he crawled forward, the owner of the limb grabbed him, telling him to deliver a message to the Eastern Fortress. The boy accepted this difficult mission. Then the boy took shelter in some ruins, where he encountered his sister. Just then, a German soldier entered. Without hesitation, the boy shot him. Afterward, he continued his journey without rest, finally reaching the Eastern Fortress by evening. After delivering the message, he had used up all his strength and collapsed in the commander's arms. The next day, tanks rolled over civilian bodies. The political commissar's legs were blown off. Before dying, he crawled to a machine gun and fired the last bullet. Then he took out a photo of his family, looked at it one final time, and died in the explosion. The surviving soldiers were all captured. A German officer shouted to the crowd. All Jews and commissars stepped forward. The soldiers knew that if they didn't voluntarily step forward, no one could identify them, and they could survive. But the commissar stopped walking and told the Germans he was a commissar. The Germans pulled him aside and aimed their guns at him. Finally, the commissar looked sadly at his watch and faced death with unwavering faith.